All right, let's look at something called the wake turbulence effect. Looks something like this in our example. Yeah, look at that. Look at those nice swirliness happening. Now this might look a bit exaggerated, but honestly guys, once you go through a few references, you can see it literally happens like this. It's crazy. So I saw this on the Corridor crew, the We Were Soldiers example. You can see that. Look at that. Look how it swirls. It's insane. So I started testing a few of those as well that had a much stronger swirl. So this was one of the examples, was looking pretty good. I did another one with Flippy here. I even added the swirly trails that the airplane leaves here at the end. Like, how insane is that? So yeah, I tried to simulate that as well. Although in most examples, I don't think you would need this. And I think, yeah, so I started working on the wash effect because I saw this shot in the Mandalorian. It was looking pretty cool. So yeah, let's see how to do, how would you do something like this? Let's see, what if I kind of want to switch up this explosion just a bit. And let's simulate this so you guys can see how it looks like when it's simulating. Now I moved the explosion, so now I think we're gonna get a more even wash. Whoa, look at that. So cool. And let's add the TIE Fighter as a collider. Simulate again. So now the TIE Fighter is gonna push the smoke outwards as well. I think we're in the wrong position here. If we're looking where the TIE Fighter came through. Let's see that again. So right here, we should be a bit more here. And a bit lower, I suppose. Okay, sim again. Poof. Yeah, I think it's still too high, but sure, looks pretty good. Love it. So let's see how do you make something like this. There's a few versions. I always do the simplest one, and I did a spiral. I copied it a bunch of times like this. I also changed the soft transform a bit, so it kind of resembles. You can also try it without this, would be completely valid. Then we need a orient along curve, subdivide it, skin it, so we get this. The orient along curve is currently in the normal, and it's gonna look like, show me the normal. It's gonna look like this, right? It's gonna flow around our curves, which is what we need for the spiral to happen. And then inside of here, this is a bit messy. I will clean it up for you guys. We only need this really. So if we look at our velocity now, I'm literally just bringing in that normal, negating it. So it's going in the right direction and exporting it as V. I was testing with a bunch of different things like this, where I was mixing between. So here it was spiraling, and then towards the end it was pushing it forward, right? So if I look at my vectors now, one side is going to be spiraling like crazy here. I know it's a bit hard to see, but then, oof, so trippy. spiraling here and then still spiraling here, but going forward a bit. It could work. It just didn't work exactly like I wanted it. So back to just spiraling. Once you have that, I created some densities, transform it, merge them, transform it again, and then I created a empty velocity VDB. I activated it with this bound, and then here with just a PC open, you sample your V and export it to vel, and then using the Axiom velocity trail, you can see the velocities like this. So that's one version, and then I just place it where it needs to be placed. Also here on this side, I'm creating a influence temperature, and I'm also creating an influence pressure. So this will be a negative pressure, pulling everything in. Without the pressure, it's still gonna work, but the pressure keeps it maintained in the spiral. Otherwise, the velocities would be going all over the place a bit. So that's gonna help with the spiral. So that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need this here. And then we have the TIE fighter. Scale it down, so it's a bit tiny. And I create a VDB collision and collision vel, transform it. I give it, so what I do that trick where I showed you in the advanced gliders. This is animated. It's not animated here. This is not animated. Not animated. Convert to VDBs, and then you animate your VDBs. That way you don't have to calculate the VDBs on each frame. And then on this side, I just created a point using the centroid, and then creating a point at that position. Calculating the velocities, and then here, I'm bringing in this here. And then just adding that point velocity back to collision vel. And that will give us a constant velocity on our collision vel without really needing to calculate the velocities on the geometry itself. So it's a neat trick that I use quite a lot. I cannot give you the TIE fighters. So what you can do is use Flippy. So you would just have to, Flippy is here. There we go. So now Flippy is at the same position as the TIE fighter. So then just replace this and this. And you should get proper collisions working again. So now Flippy will be disturbing everything instead of the TIE fighter. There we go. Yeah. Such a funny shot. This might be the thumbnail. But yeah, so this is the simple setup. This is the simple explosion setup that we went through a few times now. Nothing has changed. I just wanted to show you and give you guys this as another example. Now, I did want to show you an alternative way. This is a bit messy. I won't be sharing this one, but what you can do is, I already have a few caches here. What you can do, if I preview, you can copy the same, where do I have a preview of this? So you can create this ground wash, right? Like we had before, but then you can copy it to a point to the TIE fighter. So you can see now our TIE fighter is gonna just have that wash with him all the time. And that way you don't have to worry about the placement. And that, I feel like that's how they did it in The Mandalorian. So you just do it for both sides. Well, for both TIE fighters, because I had two of them here. And then you just merge everything together. Hope that makes sense. And then once you do that, your TIE fighters are going to be, and then I also added 3 explosions instead of just 1. Let's see how that's going to look like. And this is all in one simulation. So yeah, now the TIE fighters actually displays where they're flying, and the first one displays it a bit, and then the second one adds even more wake wash to the simulations. And I feel like that's how they did it for the Mandalorian sequence. All right, so I think this is going to be the last lesson in this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new, and I really wish it's going to convince you to try Axiom, because it's going to make your life a bit faster and a bit easier. Please join us on Discord, where we help each other and share examples. It's a fun community that we've built, so we would be very happy to have you, and see you in the next workshop.